cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to the V8 Supercar Americas series here presented by v8sonline. I'm JD Smith, and with me tonight to call all the action is Kane Kraft as we head on over to Sonoma Raceway in Sonoma, California. We want to let you know that tonight's broadcast is presented in glorious high definition and is brought to you by V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and our very own V8 Online Superstore. Once again, I am JD Smith, and Kane, we got us a very exciting Week 2 race ahead of us here on this 12-turn Cup configuration at the Sonoma Raceway. I can't wait, buddy. Things are looking really good. Going to have a short pre-race show here today, so let's go ahead and kick things off in a hurry.
Yeah, we got just a couple minutes before the server launches, and boy, Sonoma, it's one of my favorite tracks. The racing here is just exciting. Usually from start to finish, we've got a lot to keep an eye on during the race at Sonoma. Last season, it was excellent from start to finish. We know that Marlon McMullen is great at this track. Chad Chastain also really, really good here. So several drivers. Nigel Bain is really good here. So we got a lot to watch. This is going to be a great race. Last time there was some carnage at first lap that took a couple good drivers out right off the beginning, but you never know. Maybe this time we can get a good launch and end up having a great race all the way through.
Yeah, Kane, we've got a big size race today too. 45 lapper here around the 1.99 mile street circuit here. I call it a street circuit, but it's a very interesting track here at Sonoma. A lot of elevation change, and they can change in a hurry. It's a really, really fun track in my opinion. We have really good racing here. And speaking of that first lap carnage, last season when we were here, Nigel Baines caught up in that, I believe. Or was it was one of the SDC motorsport cars for
Nigel.
sure. Yeah, I think it was Nigel. But things will be looking a little bit different today. We've already kicked off the season. For those of you that may have missed last week at Watkins Glen, it was a wonderful race and a great start to the season. This season looks very promising. Marlon McMullen, the two-time champ, trying to come back, Kane, and be a three-time. Can he do it? He's already started off with a very nice result, and it'll be fun to see how he does here in Week 2 at Sonoma. And it won't be long now as we'll be heading over to the track to get you guys some live pictures on screen of the top split. Looks like there's going to be an 18-car field and some big names involved. Bo could tell we're expecting Chad Chastain, Glenn Sidman. How about that? Hadn't seen him in a while. Graham Filan, James McKnight. A lot of different names that we haven't seen in the Americas race in a while, but I'll be happy to see them on track. Can't wait to get out there and see how these guys qualified. It is going to be fun.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of big names in the race today, so man, this is going to be exciting.
Man, I'm so excited. As you know, Kane, I love when we get over to the America tracks. Not that the foreign tracks are terrible or anything, because they're absolutely wonderful, but I love the fact of being in an American circuit with V8 supercars. It makes me believe that one day there is hope that I will get to see V8 supercars race in person in America. I know that we've had the Austin 400, and it's just a wonderful event. Unfortunately, they will not be visiting this year, but they will return in 2015. So it's just awesome, and I just love seeing them on the American circuit, especially Sonoma. It's such an awesome track to me. Yeah, it deserves a lot of credit that sometimes it doesn't get. So I'm excited about that. Remember, 45 laps, Kane, a longer race than I believe we raced here last season, so things will look a little bit different as far as strategy on the track. We are going to have to make a round of pit stops today, and that always brings in a nice strategic view of the race. Not only skills involved, got to use the brain and how these guys can strategize.
Yeah, pit stops here can be extra challenging too. not sorry to interrupt you, but pit stops here can be a strategy on themselves because the pit lane's so long, and yeah, so that can taking all that pit lane into account can really mess with some timing sometimes in some of your figuring.
It also can come on into you in a hurricane, and it's not your typical entrance to pit road. It's coming off the hairpin turn there, and we've seen some guys that have unintentionally went down that road just to escape. Maybe they got loose or just to get out of it, so they have an unplanned pit stop, and that can come into effect as well. Now, since we're out here at the track now, I want to go ahead and read off how these guys will be starting today. It's going to be Jared Filsell on the pole in the ANZ Motorsport machine, and sitting on the outside pole in spot number 2, the brand new SDC Motorsport driver, Chad Chastain. He will be sitting in second position. Starting behind in row 2 in the position number 3 is a great racer. We saw him last week. It's Sean Kelly, and what a serious pace of speed he had last week at Watkins Glen. Sitting on the outside of row 2, it will be the 2-time defending champ, the Power Bond Aco Ford Falcon driver, Marlon J. McMullen. And sitting in 5th position will be Bo Cattell in the tag Pest Management Ford Falcon. And back in 6th position, it'll be Mark Anderson in the black Kamikaze Ford Falcon. On the outside of that row, it will be Nigel Baines of SDC Motorsports. Sitting in the 8th spot will be Michael Fulcher with Marty Carroll in 9th. Sam Collins rounds out the top 10 in a fancy-looking white Kamikaze Ford Falcon. That's a new paint scheme I've seen for Sam, and I really like it. Graham Bones Filand sitting in position 11th tonight. Good starting spot for Bones, and Luke Emerton starting 12th. Back in 13th, it will be Glenn Sidman of Never Quit Racing. Phil Jones starting in the 14th spot with Will Lamb in 15th. Sam Ryman in 16th with James McKnight starting in the 17th spot. Andrew Green is set to start 18th, and that is how the 18-car field is set, Kane. Guys finishing up practice now. We'll be getting in the grid in just a moment. Yeah, Kane, it really will. Got a lot of great things that are going to happen tonight. We got some big names here. A lot of SDC Motorsport cars out on the track, and they'll be in the Sim Pit Ford Falcons today if you're looking on the broadcast. Got a lot of those on track today. Normally we see a lot of co-drivers out there, but we'll be seeing a lot of Sim Pit cars out there as the guys are gridding now. And now that I have my headset fixed, I was hearing all the drivers talking, and it's hard for me to talk when I'm hearing them. All the drivers getting set now, and they're all wishing each other good luck. So something great we have in this league. As we're getting ready, we'll be hearing the engines rev real soon. Chad on the outside pole. We'll be watching Jared Filsell on the pole. The engines are revved here at Sonoma. As the green flag is waved, the green lights are on. Let's go green here at Sonoma. We're off to a pretty good start at the moment, guys. Keep your eyes on the mid-pack, as that's where things can get dangerous in a hurry. We're 3 wide for a moment there. Had 2 SDC cars and a Kamikaze car. It's Sam Collins on the outside. He trying to make a move around Marty Carroll there, and it's a tough, tough race. All guys starting to fall in position as we head up through turn 4.
Great start so far by these guys as we get through the first couple turns. Okay, no first turn incidents like we had last time, so this very well could be that exciting race that we were looking for.
Yeah, a lot of excitement right now. Glenn Sidman did a really good job in the NQR Ford Falcon. He is in the 14th or 13th position now, right now, guys. He had a really good job. He got stuck out on the outside for a moment. I thought it was going to spell trouble. He did a really good job of pulling into single file line and racing right in front of Phil Jones.
So happy to see Glenn Sidman in the series. I've been waiting for a long time for him to join this series, and I'm glad to see him come. He's one that we'll definitely have to keep an eye on.
100% out in front right now, guys. It looks as it is an SDC Motorsports car of Chad Chastain out front. The Sim Pit Ford Falcon has a nice lead over pole sitter Jared Filsell. This is a great three-way battle, including Sean Kelly there in third. What a great way to start this race. Here on lap 2 of 45, guys starting to settle into a nice rhythm. Looking behind this top 3 cars, we're looking at position 4 of our defending 2-time champion, Marlon J. McMullen, as he's followed by another ANZ Motorsport car, Bo Cattell. This top 6 cars is really crucial right now, Kane. We can go ahead and say the top 9 as they're all tight. Actually, the top 10 with Sam Collins are all in a pack as the top 10 are starting to develop and break away into 2 different packs. It's the first 5 with Bo Cattell following that trail, and then starting with Nigel Baines in the second pack in 6th place. So we got 2 little packs starting to break away here. A lot of stuff happening in the rear of the field though.
Yeah, the action here is just so intense. There's racing all through the field, bumper to bumper, almost clear through the field. There's just only a couple short little gaps.
Kane, we do have a car in the pits. It's Will Lamb in the number 11 Morgan Ford Falcon. He is back there. I think he's getting repairs. I'm not quite sure what happened to Will, but hopefully he'll be back out on the track soon. Man, some great action right now with Chad Chastain and Jared Filsell up at the front. Still a good battle for position, and that is for the lead. And boy, Jared Filsell really hopping those curves. It's so fun. This is one of my favorite parts about, as a driver point of view, is hopping these curbs here at Sonoma. It's so fun. But hey, Kane, I'm looking on, and I'm looking at the Sim Pit Ford Falcon of Chad Chastain, and that number 5 machine has some pretty significant damage to be a leader. He's got some damage on the splitter as well as the hood this early in the race. I don't think it's going to cause him any problems. It definitely doesn't look that way, but I don't know how. I wonder if he hit one of those curves a little too hard.
Maybe once the race is over, we can take a look at the start and see. Maybe he made a little contact as he made through on that very start of the race. Not real sure.
Either way, it's a little interesting here. Great battle between first and second still. It's hard for me to try to keep my eyes away from these guys. They're really giving me a good show up here. Chad looking really in the zone. I'll tell you another one, Bo Cattell and Marlon McMullen really working to try to get around one another. Bo would love to get ahead of Marlon right here and work his way up into the 4th spot.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge though, because Marlon McMullen, we've seen last time we were here, he definitely knows this track well, and he's got good pace here. I'm surprised to see that little bit of gap between he and Sean Kelly, but I expect we'll see Marlon catch that little bit of gap that's there up and be working on the top 3 positions.
Kane, good battle right now with Graham Bones Filand and Luke Emerton back here, the battle for 11th position. And, oh, it looked like Luke Emerton was going to get past for a moment there as Graham looked to have a look to the inside, but a great job with driving by Luke Emerton in that Sim Pit Ford Falcon. Very nice. Oh, Graham's on it again, Kane. He's really got a good look around Luke. He just can't seem to get that initial momentum that he needs to get the pass done. To get a pass completed here at this track, you really have to have just a killer momentum jump because the turns are so close together. There's not a huge straightaway here that really helps you get that long straightaway for a potential pass using the draft. So you don't have that here like we have at a lot of tracks.
And there's only just a couple good passing zones, corners that you can really get a good pass on. And so a lot of times you have to end up waiting almost a whole lap before you can try again if you mess up and don't get your move done. Andrew Green in the Kermit Mobile that I was talking about at the beginning, he's made his way up into the 13th position. He started in the last place position, so a few positions gained there by the number 16 car.
Yeah, I love the Kermit Mobile. We'll be keeping an eye on Andrew Green's Kermit.
Now, I didn't have the Kermit the Frog on the vehicle last week. I don't know if maybe my deal wasn't loaded. Did you see the Kermit on the vehicle last week, or did he put those there this week?
I saw it last week.
Okay, well, my skin must not have updated.
That's why I called it the Kermit Mobile. Will Lamb out of the pits now, so he has rejoined the track. He's 3 laps down at the moment. The only other car off the lead lap is James McKnight, and unfortunately, I think his day may be over as it looks to have lost internet connection.
Oh man, that's tough luck for James there in the Sim Pit Falcon.
Yeah, James McKnight started in the 17th spot and lost the race here. We'll count it as an engine failure there. Boy, Luke Emerton still has his rearview mirror full of the Altitude Volvo of Graham Filan. This is a great battle for position. Still, battle for 11th is still here. And look who's coming up. It's our good friend in the Kermit Mobile coming up behind him there. So this is a fun little battle. Andrew Green is coming into the picture. It'll be a little while before he's there, but you give him a couple laps at the pace he's going, he'll be there. Boy, the field really tightening up as Marlon McMullen has caught up to Sean Kelly here, and now it's going to be a 5-car battle up here near the front. And right now, a battle for the lead has ensued as right at the front, Chad Chastain gets challenged by Jared Filsell and does a great job by accepting the challenge and holding the first place position.
I tell you what, these guys are not disappointing. They are bringing the excellent race that we predicted we were going to see here. It's been hair-raising the entire time.
Look at this on the inside now. It is the Sim Pit Ford Falcon. He gets a little wide through the hairpin. Will that allow the Tag NZ Motorsport car of Jared Filsell to make the pass? No, it will not. He cannot get the momentum he needs. And that is another lead lap by Chad Chastain in the number 5 Sim Pit Ford. Well, I think if you're Sean Kelly right now, you're sitting in that hybrid racing Ford Falcon and you're looking ahead to a Bo Cattell and a Chad Chastain, knowing these two and the history in this series. He knows those two are going to get real racy soon, so the best thing for him is to sit tight, be consistent, and wait for things to happen around him. He knows this is a 45-lap race, Kane. There's going to be a whole round of pit stops ahead. Just hang tight, and he'll earn his spot by being consistent. His big worry right now is that car that's behind him, not in front of him. Marlon McMullen really starting to push. He's right there, almost taps his bumper through the hairpin, and just that's this little Marlon letting him know that he's there.
Yeah, that's one thing Marlon will do is he'll make his car available in each mirror on Sean Kelly's car and just to really try to put that pressure on thick and hope that he can force Sean into making a little bit of mistake. And Sean Kelly's been doing this for a long time. He's had some really good cars putting that pressure on the back of him, so I would say that he's probably not going to let Marlon get to him too much.
Oh, look at this for the lead now. Here he is poking that nose out, getting a little air. It's Jared Filsell, and he just can't find his way around leader Chad Chastain. And that's what we talked about, Kane. You mentioned how good of a racer that Chad Chastain is here at Sonoma. He's just a great racer anywhere he goes, but has a little something special here at Sonoma. As we saw last season, he won this race, I believe, last season, and he will carry on to do so again today if it's up to him. He hits the road cone coming by. That's really close to that wall, that retaining wall that separates pit road from the hairpin turn, Kane. It just shows you how close our leader came to hitting that inside barrier wall.
Yeah, that must be a marker for Chad. Is that thing that cone? They get it repositioned every lap, and he makes sure and he nicks that thing each and every lap as he goes by it. That's one cone. I would definitely hate to be a cone.
I just can't believe how tight we are up here in the top 5 positions. Really close racing up here at the front right now, and really fun to watch. They look like a train of cars that are tied together. Okay, now look at this. This could be huge. Down on the inside, it is. It's Jared Filsell who gets on the inside of Chad Chastain. Chad drove it in a hair too strong, and he will lose the lead as we have a new leader. It's pole sitter Jared Filsell in the Tag Pest Management Falcon.
Yeah, Chad lost a lot of momentum by going just a little bit too deep, and now Jared got an extra good jump coming out of that turn as well, so he's got a pretty good gap between Filsell and Chad Chastain.
Now it's time for Chad to get a little bit of that mow back and start chipping away back towards Jared, and won't be surprised to see that happen. And in the meantime, Sean Kelly doing a beautiful job of holding off that Marlon McMullen car back there in the Power Bond Daco Ford Falcon. He really looks good. And Sean Kelly here, this is 2 weeks in a row he's shown that he's in the right spot. Back checking in on Mark Anderson back here in the 6th position. He's got company. It's Marty Carroll in the SDC Motorsports machine as he starts to edge his way closer to the 7th place, or excuse me, the 6th place car. That's the number 7 Kamikaze Race Team car of Mark Anderson in 6th. And that will be a fun battle to see Marty and Mark going at it.
Yeah, Marty's having a pretty good race so far. Finds himself up there in the 7th position, really tracking down that 6th position of Mark Anderson. He's really making good time, so it'll be exciting to watch Marty when he gets up here into that fighting position for 6th. Uh-oh, Chad Chastain into the pits.
Yeah, it's Chad Chastain heading down pit road. So let's keep an eye on this and try to keep the timer on it if we can, and see what this stop is going to be for Chad Chastain.
Nigel Baines already has his stop out of the way as well.
So some of the guys trying, and he's out. And so let's see what it is for Chad Chastain here on his pit stop. Big important pit stop for Chad.
Yeah, 17.4 seconds for Chad. Nigel Baines also having his pit stop completed. Nigel's was 17.7, and Graham Fyland's already had his as well, 17.5. So good stops
That's
there
close
for Chad.
That is 3 close pit stops right there. Chad got a little loose on those tires. Those fresh tires. You got to be careful on your outlap because you can really get loose here in a hurry. Those tires are not warmed up yet, so you gotta warm them up before you push too hard. None of that damage repaired on the car of Chad Chastain there on the pit stop. It's still there. I didn't know if maybe it would fix a little bit, but
Sean Kelly in the pits.
Oh, so now Sean Kelly. So it's trending to be early pits here at Sonoma. So I understand wanting to get the pit stop out of the way, Kane. I do understand that. What I don't understand is they're going on lap 12 and 13 of a 45-lap race. These tires are going to get really old at the end, so somebody that can hold off even midway to mid into this race, let's say pit around 27 to 30, 35, anywhere in there, you're going to have fresh tires at the end that's going to be a lot faster than these slow tires that'll be worn off by the end of these races. That's my only gripe with pitting really early, is you're going to be on older tires, they're going to be on newer tires. Will that be what makes up the difference in the end?
Yeah, I agree. I can definitely see why they want to get that pit stop out of the way so they can just get to racing and not have to worry about it no more. But I don't know, from a engineering point of view, you would think that you'd want to try to pit as close to halfway as possible.
Sean Kelly's off track, Kane. A great save by Sean Kelly, who went all the way off track into the dirt and just pulled the car back on before tapping the wall. Boy, that was close. Sorry about that, buddy. That was really close for Sean Kelly.
Well, yeah, but what I was saying was you'd think that, from a, trying to figure it out from the engineering standpoint, that, you'd want to try to get that pit stop in it as close to halfway as possible. That way you've got good tires, as much as the races you can have them. But we don't really see that's really the trend.
And Michael Fulcher in the pits now. So, yeah, you see the trend. It's monkey see, monkey do right now. I think the guys are saying, all right, it's pit time. Everybody's going in. But I think the guys that's going to, I agree with you, Kane. If you're looking at if you want the best tires on the track for the longest period of time, the ideal thing to do is pit directly in the middle of the race. And so that is what you think these guys would do, but no, they're heading in early to get it out of the way, and they can focus on racing. And I like it somewhat, but I think in this race right here, if I see what's going on right now, Kane, I'm going to hang out. I'm going to hang out for a while. I'm going to do what Jared Filsell's doing right now and Marlon McMullen, and I'm going to hang out for as long as I can and pit late in the race. These guys soon aren't going to have any traffic around them at all, and they can just focus on running hot laps. And what that'll allow them to do is they're not having to worry about getting racy with anybody and slowing them down. They just worry and focus on racing clean, fast laps, and then make their pit stop. And if all is well, they'll come out ahead of everybody else and win this race. One thing I wanted to talk about back when we were talking about Marty Carroll. Now, Marty right now is in the 10th position, Kane. I don't know if he made his pit stop or not, but Marty had a rough season last season. He just didn't look like himself. He wasn't up to race form, I know, as he had a lot of things going on out of racing, and it was kept him pretty busy, and that can really take away from your driving. And one thing that I really talked about before we had a talk with Marty before the season started, and really got to talking with him, he really is looking forward to getting back into this season and really improving again. Marty, I know, has the skills to be up here threatening to win these races, and I know that he can win races. He won, what was it, a week ago, not in our race, but he did win a race. And that kind of confidence can really help a driver out. And I think that we're seeing some of that right now.
Our leader's in the pits.
And so there he is, Jared Filsell in the pits. We'll have to keep a close eye on Jared. And that will put Marlon McMullen as your new leader, or should. And it will. But that's something we got to keep an eye on. We'll watch Marty and kind of see if that win helped him out, that confidence helped him out. And that'll be fun to see. I wish him the best. So Marlon McMullen, the two-time defending champ, has got the race lead now and has nobody around him. We've known Marlon to stay out at long periods before and pit late in the race. Will he do it again here today? That's going to be the question. I tell you, it's going to be fun to watch him.
Here's the moment of truth as Jared Filsell's coming out of the pits. It looks like Bo Cattell does get by. Bo has inherited the lead through pit strategy. Filsell does find himself back in what would be second place after the pit stops clear.
That is true. That is very true. Now that is pending on the time if Marlon can gain any time off of running out here by himself. He has no traffic around him at the moment, and that'll be fun to see when Marlon pits where he'll come out in this thing. Now Glenn Sidman is the lap down as Marlon McMullen went around him. He's in the 16th position. Or 15th position, I'm sorry, Glenn. And Glenn Sidman, it's good to see him back out on the track. I haven't seen him on the track in a while, buddy.
Yeah, it's good to be able to say his nickname that we made for him back a long time ago when we first started broadcasting. You nicknamed him the Silent Stalker.
That's right. So you never know. I'm not going to talk about him, and he'll slide up into the top 10 before you know it. Let's check on Kermit. The Kermit Ford Falcon of our good new friend Andrew Green is in the 12th position at the moment, and he is right ahead of Luke Emerton. Now remember, those two were battling a moment ago, and they're continuing to, but Andrew Green tucks into pit road, and he'll go ahead and get his pit out of the way.
Nice pit entry there by Andrew.
Yeah, that was. Be fun to see if what kind of time he gets in this pit. And so far, who has the fastest pit stop there, Kane?
Well, it's really hard to say because there's so many laps in between. But as far as actual time goes, Bo Cattell does with an 11.6. But he took his pit several laps after everybody else, so he didn't have as much fuel that he needed to take.
That's another thing about pitting later that I like. You don't have to put as much fuel in the car, and that's another thing. Here's two tag pest management Ford Falcons riding together. It's Bo Cattell and Jared Filsell, and these would be your potential front two riders, barring once everyone pits. Now Marlon McMullen is the official race leader at the moment, and he has a 21-second lead over these guys. So that
actually,
will
Marlon just pulled out of the pits. He's found himself back in what will be the third position once Mark Anderson pits. So Marlon's come out of the pits now, and
good eye. I was watching the tag boys and missed Marlon going into the pits.
Yeah, I missed him going in as well, but I just happened to catch him coming out.
Now Mark Anderson is now making his way into the pits. He's in the 7th position entering pits.
One thing I want to mention is the Kermit Mobile. He was in the pits for 1:16 seconds, so I don't know exactly what happened to Andrew Green there, but something serious happened. He's fell back to the 16th position now.
Huh. We'll have to try to see. He does have some damage on the car, but it doesn't look significant, so maybe he had something that felt funny in the car and made some adjustments or got something repaired there.
I don't know. It didn't look that bad when we watched him go into the pits. I don't think he had that damage. We must have missed a lap where he came out and ended up hitting a wall or something.
Marlon McMullen looks ahead to both ANZ Motorsport teammates, Jared Filsell and Bo Cattell, who run first and second at the moment, and our pole sitter, Jared Filsell, looks fantastic at the moment. He really is finding some speed.
Yeah, those boys got just about 3 seconds right now on Marlon McMullen, so we'll keep an eye on that time to see if Marlon's gaining, and if he is gaining, actually. He's gained 0.2 of a second already, now 0.3 of a second, so Marlon is gaining on those guys, so Marlon's got some pretty good speed tonight.
Now Chad Chastain of SDC Motorsports in the Sim Pit Falcon, he fell to the 6th position, and he is really pushing, trying to get back up in to fight these guys. Wants to catch up to Sean Kelly, who's up in 5th position, and he's going to get up there if he keeps pushing like he is, barring no mistakes. Sometimes when these guys push really hard, that's when the mistakes start coming out. So we got to keep a close eye on Chad to see how he does here. Michael Fulcher back in the 6th position, has nobody around him, and he looks really good right now. It's just how far away is he from Chad Chastain? He is quite a ways away.
I like what Kamikaze's done with their new paint schemes, giving each guy a different color. It really makes it easier for us to tell who's who. And with the addition of Sam Collins on their team, I think that was a fantastic addition for them. So congratulations to Sam Collins for joining up with the Kamikaze guys, and congratulations to Kamikaze for picking him up. I think that was a perfect addition to the team.
Yeah, it's a big-time move for him. I think that's a great choice. Sam, a great driver, very courteous driver, very clean and respectful driver, but also a very fast driver. And I think he'll do really well in the Kamikaze team. It's going to be fun to see how these guys work together. And right now, Sam Collins is in the top 10. He is actually in 10th place, and he is really putting on a battle right now with a car in front of him. That's Marty Carroll. Now Marty is actually behind. Marty's in 13th, so this is kind of fun to watch. We really have a scattered race field right now.
Yeah, the pit stops really kind of scattered the field about. Not so much with the top 3 positions, just a couple seconds between the leader and second place Beau Cattell. Marlon McMullen has caught up now. He's less than a second now between he and Beau Cattell, so he has officially caught Beau Cattell and will soon be putting that pressure back on Beau Cattell to try to get that second place position.
Yeah, Marty in place right now, and not 13th place. I think I said 13th place. He's at the 13 car. He's in 7th place. I apologize for that. I do that from time to time. I'll say something when I'm thinking of something else. But Marty looking really, really confident right now, ahead of Sam Collins. This is a fun little battle to watch. We have another battle right behind between the Kamikaze and SDC again. It's Michael Fulcher this time and Nigel Baines, but in this battle, Kamikaze leads. And this is fun when you have two teams that can battle one another like this. Ooh, Michael really got a good jump on Nige right there and put about another second on him.
Well, Nigel's car's pretty beat up on that passenger side. It's goodness, he's got a lot of damage there on that left side of the car.
Yeah, it's a significant amount of damage now that you mention it. So guys, here we are, lap 23 of 45 laps here at Sonoma Raceway in Sonoma, California. And this is wine country, but today it's race country. And Jared Filsell leads the way. He's out front in the tag pest management machine, and he has a 3-second lead over Beau Cattell. Kane, it wasn't 4 or 5 laps ago. These guys were right there with one another. And now Jared has really rode out. In place is now Marlon McMullen battles Beau Cattell for the second position.
Yeah, Marlon McMullen really did a fantastic job of catching up with Beau there. He came out of the pits almost 4 seconds back, and he's caught that 4 seconds up and is now right on the bumper.
Chad Chastain would love to catch up to Sean Kelly. He's quite a little bit of ways ahead of him, and it's going to be hard for Chad to get up there, but Chad never gives up, so that we'll have to keep an eye on that. Remember the Marty Carroll and Mark Anderson battle that we had? Now this is, the Sam Collins Marty Carroll battle that we had. Still a heated battle for position. Marty still holding the 7th place down. He has about a car length ahead of Sam Collins, and this is still a great battle. You know what, Kane? I think it's a good time to go on the kamikaze onboard of our good friend Sam Collins and take a look at this battle from the onboard cam. Once we get on board here and take a look from Sam Collins' machine, we see ahead, of course, the SimPit Ford Falcon of Marty Carroll. This is the final few turns here at Sonoma. Big, strong right-hander, and you really can get loose here. Use all the exit curve, and now get on the brakes here for the famous hairpin turn here at Sonoma. This is where we've seen a lot of passes today. It's probably the biggest passing place on the course. Use every bit of acceleration you can through this big, it's almost like a bus stop, but it's not. It's just two left-handers as we start an uphill into turn 1 and 2 here. This is a tricky part of the track because you want to go extremely fast, Kane. And you know as well as I do, you can lose it in a hurry here. These cars slide around this track, and it makes it so fun. Here over the top of the hill, down into the right-hander, but you don't want to go too fast or you'll go sliding off into that runoff area and miss your turn here. Use the curve to help straighten the car out here. Another right-hander, really have to wash all the speed off on the entrance. And that's another thing, is a lot of people get a little too aggressive through there, and it causes problems. That's a whole lap as we return to where we join the onboard camera. And think about this, the entire time we've been on this onboard camera, the battle between Marty Carroll and Sam Collins, they have stayed at about the exact distance between one another. Think those guys are on the same playing field there?
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are a perfect match for each other, and I think we've seen it a few times last season where these guys were racing bumper to bumper for so long. And I've mentioned that if there's going to be a car riding on my bumper, I would want it to be Sam Collins. He's proven time and time again that he can ride right there on your bumper, and he is such a clean racer.
It's happened, and it happened big. Marlon McMullen overtook Bo Cattell just a second ago and already has about a half a second on him. This guy, I mean, just completely found some speed. I don't know where it came from, but he blasted past Bo.
Watching it on the race recall replay right here, yeah, Bo got just a little squirrely going through the right-hander there, and Marlon was all over it. And he I caught Bo a little bit of momentum there, and Marlon just ate that up and got right on by.
So here it is, lap 27 of 45 laps here at Sonoma, and Marlon McMullen, your defending two-time champion in the NASCAR, or not the NASCAR, the v8 Americas series. And look at this, Kane. He's 5.5 seconds down from Jared Filsell, our leader. Does he have what it takes to catch up to Jared? Well, let's see what Jared's running. And when we look at the time, last lap ran by Jared Filsell was a 1:14.7, and then Marlon McMullen's last lap was a 1:15.8. So no, Jared Filsell is actually gaining time. That is incredible.
Well, right now I want to take a minute to talk to Jim Davey, who's got an eye on split 2, and see what's going on in the second split tonight. Jim, you got a copy?
Yeah, bud. So I'm sitting here watching the second split. It's actually pretty good. Not to take anything away from these drivers, they're all very good. It's a very hard car. Sanjin Delalic in the HPR Altitude Volvo Falcon has about a 21-second lead over Andrew Williams, and he's just been running away with it. And then looks like Matt Yeomans, Stephen Jenkins, and Brenton O'Brien right out the top 5. Early on, it was really interesting. Isaac DeFigurato, I hope I said his name right, I always mess it up.
You got it, buddy.
He pitted after lap 1 for, I don't know why, because it didn't seem like he had any contact or anything, but now he's showing about 6 laps down, which is really disappointing for him. But yeah, about the top half of the field's all on the same lap still, which is really good. But Sanjin's just running away with this race right now.
Boy, Sanjin has got some serious speed. Some places they just really favor his driving style, and I think Sonoma is one of them. Obviously, it's showing that way, Jim. But that's awesome. I miss seeing Sanjin here in the top split every week, and it's funny, when we first started doing this broadcast, a lot of the guys, including yourself, we got to see every week, and now because of the added participation in this series, we don't get to see everybody, so it's great to hear what's happening in the second split, because these second split drivers are so talented. There's just because they're in the second split, you can't take anything away from them. Trust me, they're talented enough to be right here in the first split.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
And what I've done to try to make up for that, because the second split racing is fantastic, is Jim a lot of times will save the replays for me, and I can go back and in my spare time throughout the week make a video of that race that took place that we didn't get it broadcast live, and I can put it up on the YouTube channel, and then some of the other drivers can check it out later on in the week and check out just how intense that second split action was. I did manage to get it done with the Watkins Glen race, and that video is on the internet. I think they'll post a link to it on the Americas Facebook page. So if you're a second split driver and you want to relive last week's race, you can probably find it on the V8 Supercars Americas Facebook page.
In other words, if you won the race last week, no, I'm just kidding. That's awesome, man. That is, you definitely want to relive it if you win that race. Watkins Glen, if you win that race, man, that's such a tough track to win at, because everybody is so fast there.
Watching the second split race, there was so many cool little moments that a lot of different drivers had. Jim, for one, had an excellent start. I think he passed 4 or 5, maybe even 6 cars off the start. It was an excellent start.
Yeah, it was 6.
That's awesome, though, Jim. And it's awesome that you're here with us to tell us what's going on in the second split during the race. Normally you're on the track, so I'm sorry that you weren't able to race today, but sure am glad to have you here on the show with us.
Oh, I'm so happy that I was able to at least get in and watch. Yeah, my main computer's having some issues with its wireless, so my loving wife was able to get iRacing installed on the laptop so I can at least watch and see what's going on.
Oh, that's a great lady right there.
Absolutely.
Seeing Glenn Sidman now getting passed up by the leaders. Glenn's riding around in the 14th position. I've got it listed as a privateer, but Glenn obviously is driving for never quit racing. We'll give a shout out to Glenn's little boy and wife, who we know watch the broadcast. So hello, guys.
That's right. We haven't been able to say hey to them in a while. Hope that they're doing well. And Glenn is, believe it or not, Glenn's not having his fastest race, but he's actually not doing bad, really. I mean, he's back in the 14th position. He is a lap down, but Glenn, a very good, very fast driver in the V8, just a very great guy, very good guy.
Good, clean driver.
Funny, but Glenn Sidman, a little bit something about him. When I first met Glenn, he came into a private league that Kane and myself were a part of. And Glenn Sidman literally just came out of nowhere, and this guy was finishing third and second every week. And so I just got to talking with him, and I said, Glenn, you know, how'd you get to be this fast? And he said, oh, you know, JD, I don't know. He goes, I actually just picked up the V8 not too long ago, and it just came natural to me. I said, good gosh. I thought he'd been driving for several years. And some people can just pick up the V8. Now, not many. I'd say about 2% of people that ever get in one have a natural feel for it, but he definitely does. And man, this guy is a great driver. He is just naturally fast. Hard to find that. A lot of people just spend mega hours practicing in these cars, and just wish that they could be fast like that.
one person who's definitely got it all together, that's Jared Filsell. He's definitely got this car figured out, as he's got 7 seconds over Marlon McMullen. If you get 7 seconds ahead of Marlon McMullen, you are a flat kicking butt.
Yeah, that's quite impressive. Marlon McMullen got ahead of Bo Cattell not long ago on a Bo Cattell slip-up. And Marlon McMullen, the guy is the two-time defending champ in this series for a reason. He has an extreme talent for this car, and he loves it. Tell you what, Marlon started last season shaky. He you know, it's hard to defend it. First of all, it's hard to get a championship anywhere, but to get it in the V8 Americas series was just really awesome. And then he went on his defending season, Kane, and he had about one of the worst starts you could have to a season. I mentioned this quite a lot, but it's an amazing thing to me. He really busted the race open at Canadian Tire to open last season, and then had some unfortunate events take place, and he was not able to make the week 2 race, and so he come in week 3 on the bottom pretty much, and it didn't look promising for him at all. But what did Marlon McMullen do? He just did what he always does. He just stayed focused and raced his race. He had several seconds, and then about week 5, he started winning races. And the next thing you know, Marlon was battling for first place with Chad Chastain. It literally went down to the final week, and Chad is the defending back-to-back V8's Americas champion. That's just an awesome story. What did I say?
You said Chad.
Oh, I'm sorry. He battled Chad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he did both times.
Marlon McMullen. That's an awesome achievement. Buddy.
It is. He's a good success story. And another thing is, you know, there were several people that said, well, the type of drivers that he's racing isn't the same that's in the main series, and that's true. That the main series has just got a bunch of killer drivers in it. That just a bunch of the aliens really driving that main series that runs on Monday nights. Just super talented drivers like Madison Down. But now this season we're seeing a lot of those super talented drivers like Sean Kelly, Bo Cattell, Jared Filsell, who ran last season in that Monday night series, joining in this series and running. And we're still seeing Marlon doing very, very well. So that's exciting to watch, as well as the level of talent that came in this season has really increased, and Marlon is still doing very, very well.
He's doing a fantastic job.
As is Chad Chastain, holding on to fifth position here. He's ahead of some great drivers: Mark Anderson, Sam Collins, Mike Fulcher, Luke Emerton.
Kane, I have some bad news. Marty Carroll, who was battling in 7th position with Sam Collins, is in the pits. He's 3 laps down now. He's currently in 15th place, and I don't know if that car will be able to make it back out on the track, as we are on lap already on lap 35 of 45. So just 10 laps to go here at Sonoma. And Marty Carroll falls back to 15th. I know that's not what Marty was wanting. He had a great race going, and hope for better results next week. He's definitely looking a lot better, but unfortunately, I'm not sure what happened. Now, Sean Kelly right now starting to catch right up there with Bo Cattell. Kane, this is a battle for 3rd and the final podium spot here at Sonoma this week. This could become a wonderful race to the finish, as we are only 10 laps to go here at Sonoma.
Oh yeah, Sean Kelly is really on fire. As he's gained back 4 seconds that he was down on Bo Cattell. He's gained back 4 seconds back, and he is seriously putting on the pressure.
Yeah, Bo Cattell looks really loose. He looked really loose coming out of that hairpin, Kane. He just could not get grip. I wonder if his tires are getting a little bit bare, because I've noticed that back end really starting to fishtail a lot more than it was about 10 laps ago.
Yeah, now
He's
Bo
still got speed.
Bo was one of them that pitted a little later than everybody else, so you would think that he would have a little bit more tire left. But you know, after 10 or so laps, I think your tires get to the point to where they're about all equal. Everybody's got no tires.
Yeah, I think you're right, because And something else, he may be just trying to push really hard, seeing that Sean Kelly is coming up. So he may be really pushing to try to put that gap back in between the two. Bo would really love to secure a podium spot here this week.
Yeah, from the nose cam of Sean Kelly, you can really see him.
Okay, something's up. Something's up with Bo. He has lost that position. Sean Kelly moves into the podium spot. He looked like he slowed down. What happened right there?
Well, as was on the nose cam of Sean Kelly as we were following him through there, and he just like he lost grip a couple times getting ready right before that right-hander, and then as he got straight, is like maybe he went ahead and let Sean go because he knows he's getting really loose. It didn't look like he made a mistake really going down the straight. It looked like he knew that his tires were just going so much that he went ahead and just let Sean go on by.
Yeah, Kane, I was watching from Bo Catel's cockpit when I went back to see and Bo did move over and let off the accelerator, so he did let Sean Kelly by. I think he sensed that something bad was going to happen if he stayed in the state he was, because he was really loose. So I think for safety reasons for both cars, he just went ahead and let Sean by. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to secede the position, because he's still fighting to get back up there to him. But Bo's going to have some company if he keeps falling back, because Chad Chastain is trying to get up there. It's just I don't think Chad's got enough time.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It looks like he's about 13 seconds down, so I don't think he's going to be able to make it up into that fourth position
now
with 4 laps to go.
Here's a fun little thing to watch. Phil Jones is battling with Glenn Sidman. Now, Glenn's quite a little, he's about half a second behind Phil, but Glenn Sidman's starting to look a little more consistent now. Be fun to watch these two as well. Tell you what, Kane, it's lap 37 of 45. Actually, I apologize, 38 of 45. And I'm going to do a rundown here before this end of the race. In the lead, it is Jared Filsell of the Tag Pest Management Ford Falcon. Marlon J. McMullen in second, with Sean Kelly in third. Bo Cattell rides in fourth with the SDC Motorsports Chad Chastain in fifth. Mark Anderson, Kamikaze Race Team, is in sixth, with Sam Collins of Kamikaze Race Team as well in seventh. Another KRT driver rides in eighth. It's Michael Fulcher as the Simpit Ford Falcon of Nigel Baines in ninth. 10th place is Graham Filan with Luke Emerton in 11th. Phil Jones in the 12th spot with a close driving Glenn Sidman of Never Quit Racing in 13th. In 14th, it's Samuel Ryman, and then in 15th, 6 laps down, is Marty Carroll, who has rejoined the action. Unfortunately, Andrew Green has left the race. He's in the garage area. He's in 16th. Will Lamb out of the race as well in 17th. And rounding out our 18-car field, James McKnight, who left right after the race start. And that is how the field looks here at lap 39 of 45.
Taking a look at the gains and losses, looks like this has been a tough race to gain any kind of serious position here. We don't see the big gainers that we usually see, 1 or 2 big gainers. And now, our biggest gainer is Sam Collins up into the 7th place. He's only gained 3 positions to get there. I say only, but not really only when you consider this is Sonoma. He's gained 3 positions to get himself up into that 7th position. But a lot of races we'll see people that's past 6 or 7 cars to get up to the front. But tonight, 3-car gain is our biggest gain.
That's pretty crazy. That just shows you Sonoma right there, buddy. Tough place to move around. Nigel Baines back in the 9th position with the banged up race car. He's thinking he'd be happy with a 9th place finish here, Kane, after the way that his race was last year. Not one of Nigel's best tracks, and I think a top 10 here would suit him fine.
Yeah, the damage to his car. I'll bet he'll be happy to see himself get a 9th place with that big of a tore up car. So, yeah, bad luck for Nigel. I hope he had a better race yesterday. I didn't go and look at the scores yesterday, but hopefully he had a better run yesterday, and so he'll get more points than what the 9th place tonight will provide.
Glenn Sidman's still trying to catch up right now. He is right there with Phil Jones, and what a fun battle between these two. Glenn Sidman trying to get up to 12th position. And boy, when you think about the standings, if you finish 12th over 13th, those two just sound so much different. And I think it's the 10th number after it is what makes the two sound so big. And boy, he would love to get around him. Here through the hairpin, Phil Jones gets through ahead, and he still leads here. And there's not much left to go. Our leader on lap number 41 of 45 here. And right now, Jared Filsell looks to get around to Graham Bones Filand to put Graham a lap down. This will be kind of fun to watch here as Graham has had a really good race today in the Altitude Volvo. He looks really well.
Heck yeah, top 10 finish with this field is just phenomenal.
He sees the leader in his rearview mirror and is like, all right, I'm going to end up just letting him by.
He's just got a few more feet to go, and Jared Filsell will come across the finish line in the first position. Great job.
Fantastic for Jared Filsell.
Marlon McMullen comes across in the 2nd place, and with Sean Kelly wrapping up the podium in the 3rd place position.
And back in 5th, it'll be Chad Chastain as he makes his way through the hairpin turn right now and has no problem as Chad rounds out the top 5. And back there in 6th position, it'll be a KRT car of Mark Anderson and Sam Collins' teammate in the Kamikaze race team finishes 7th. And the 3rd teammate, Michael Fulcher, comes across in 8th. So not bad for Kamikaze race team, 6, 7, and 8. Nigel Baines of SDC Motorsport in the Simpit Falcon. He's going to make his way through the hairpin to finish in the 9th position. Graham Filand will finish in the 10th spot. And it looks as if Luke Emerton will come across in 11th. Phil Jones 12th. Glenn Sidman should 13th. And Sam Ryman 14th. Marty Carroll 15th. And then Andrew Green will be scored 16th, Will Lamb 17th, and the field rounds out with James McKnight. So congratulations goes out to the Tag Pest Management Ford Falcon, Jared Filsell of the AMZ Motorsports, and a fantastic job as he is having really fun burning out, banging walls here at Sonoma in a celebration of a dominating performance. Boy, he really showed everybody today. I mean, he really showed what he is made of. He was the pole sitter here, and when we look at the pole times, he had a 2/10 advantage on time. His pole time today was 1:13.271. The next fastest driver was Chad Chastain, who could only record, I say only because, wow, 1:13.4. So that is it as Jared burns out down pit road. The celebration has commenced for Jared Filsell. And what a race here, Kane. That was truly fun. 41 lap race. I kept saying 45, and I don't know why. I guess it just rolled off my tongue better. But yeah, great job. Great job there by Jared Filsell. Really dominating performance today. And I tell you what, that was an extremely good race for him. He really showed a lot of the best guys in this series that he deserved this win.
Oh yeah, this whole race was just fantastic to watch. It after the pit stops, they kind of got a few gaps in between all the cars, a second or two between the cars, and they kind of split up. But before pit stops started, the whole line was bumper to bumper. It was very exciting, and I knew it would be coming in here to Sonoma. Sonoma is a track that really lends itself to good close racing, and man, these guys didn't disappoint. It was fantastic.
It really was, and it was great. Jim, you still here with us, buddy?
Oh yeah, of course I am.
Awesome, buddy. So what do you think of that? I don't know if you finished watching the second
Well, I think he
split
might
race.
still be in the second split. Yeah, let's see if we can get some more information on that second split.
Yeah, absolutely. They just finished up, and I tell you, Sanjin just drove a monster race. He had a 34-second lead over Matt Yeomans in second place. Brenton O'Brien was 57 seconds back from the leader in third. Scott Brackenridge finished fourth. Then everybody from fifth on back, Sanjin just put a lap down because he was driving so hard. And so it ended up being Steven Jenkins, Richard Byrne, Jason Quire, Mark Myers, Dean Flavel, Isaac DeFigurato, Mark Pickett, Andrew Williams, Peter Simons, Michael Sloan, Andrew Vince, and Matthew Kolb.
Awesome news right there. Congratulations. That is an awesome race right there for Sanjin Delilac in the Altitude Volvo, and just a phenomenal job by Sanjin. I'm happy to hear that result for him there at Sonoma in the second split. Well, it looks like the guys are starting to make their way out of race mode and into interview mode. I'll get them in here. Let's start things off with one of the NZ Motorsport drivers. Let's get Bo Cattell in here. Bo, do you have a copy?
Yes, I do. How are you?
Oh, fantastic, Bo, and it's great to have you here on the show. And what a race right there. That was some serious racing up at the front. Your teammate blew everybody out of the water today. Jared was on top of it and just dominated this race today.
Yeah, Jared's been really strong. He's really good at this track, and it's not something that really suits me, so I thought I'd take a bit of a punt in the pit stop and jump them all, but I pretty much knew I wouldn't be able to hold them for very long, so tyres ran out.
Well, we saw you, at the end there, Bo. We were watching you, and it looked like you gave up a spot for Sean Kelly there at the end of the race, and is that what happened? You seemed to be getting a little loose, and I think it looked like you just kind of let Sean by there.
Yeah, the way I was having to drive the car to try and keep Sean behind me wasn't worth it, because I was going to put it in a fence. So I thought if I just let him go, I'll just settle for fourth. It's better than fencing it.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what I thought up here. So that's a great thing to see you do that. Yeah, overall a great race today, Bo, and finishing fourth is not bad. That definitely doesn't hurt you in the point standings. So all in all, a great race for you today.
Thanks, guys. It was good fun, and once again, I'm sure it's a very entertaining broadcast.
Oh, absolutely, buddy. Thank you so much for coming and having a chat with us. We look forward to seeing you next week, Bo.
No worries. Thank you.
And that is Bo Cattell, everybody, driver of the the ANZ Motorsport Tag Pest Management Ford Falcon. Now let's get in here another driver who had a phenomenal day. And that driver is the defending two-time champion, Marlon McMullen. Marlon, do you have a copy with us, buddy?
I sure do, guys. How are we?
Wonderful. I am so happy to have you here, buddy. A fantastic race today. Just shy of a win, coming across in second place today. You showed tremendous speed today. Unfortunately, Jared Philsell was just a little bit faster.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm quite happy with today's result. I didn't really expect it after starting down where I did. It's quite a hard track to pass, but I got into the groove early on and just sat behind the guys and watched them and see if anything happened, because once one thing happened, there's a big concertina effect happened, and eventually happened when Jared got the pass done on Chad, and then Chad pitted and everything slowly started to pan out for me. And the plan was always to come in about midway in the race just to try and survive on the tyres, and yeah, it worked out pretty well. And it made I think it was a pretty slow pit stop on my behalf, but yeah, jumped out in front of Sean and Chad, and just moved on after Bo.
That's it, and a great day for you, Marlon. A second place finish definitely helps in the point standings as you continue your quest for a three-peat. That would be something else, man. And I tell you what, it was truly fun watching you here out on the track today. We look forward to hearing more from you and seeing you next week.
Yes, most definitely. See you guys next week for Atlanta.
Absolutely. That is our good friend Marlon McMullen, a Power Bond Daco Ford Falcon driver. Wonderful job. Second place here. And now it's time to get in our leader, or excuse me, our leader. Yeah, right. Our winner, Jared Philsell. And Jared, do you have a copy with us?
Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going, Jared? Happy to have you here on the show, buddy. Truly a dominating performance here at Sonoma this week in week 2 of the V8 Americas series. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I missed last week. I didn't really like the car that much. I think I was just too into the GT3 from Racing Champions and whatnot, but I used my setup this week to Sonoma and it was surprisingly good, and I actually had some pretty decent pace, and I was pretty happy with that effort today with the race set. My race set held up very nicely.
I'll say so. Pretty decent pace. Boy, if that that was pretty excellent pace, Jared. That was a wonderful performance, and it was fun at the beginning. We saw you fall down into second place early in the race as Chad jumped out to an early lead. You won. You got on the pole, so you obviously knew you had a fast setup. And the next thing you know, we see you earn first place back, so that made it even better. And then just the dominating performance of what I think you finished with over a 7-second lead over Marlon McMullen in second. That's really doing something.
Yeah, I knew Chad would probably get me off the line. I was happy to sit behind him for the most part of the race, and then I could see him struggling a little bit into the last corner. He just couldn't get the car turned in, so I just had to get my strategy right and get the run on him, and I did, and I put it up the inside, and yeah, after the race he said his setup was struggling real bad, so yeah, pretty glad I got the move done pretty early.
Well, congratulations again, Jared. I tell you what, we're happy to have you here in the V8 America series and hope to see you doing well if you come next week at Road Atlanta, buddy.
Cheers, guys. I'll probably be there.
All right, you heard it. That's Jared Philsell. I almost said your name Philsell in here. But yeah, Jared Philsell, awesome job, buddy. Thanks again.
Cheers, guys.
And just a great job by him taking the win and really earned it today, but he didn't just that didn't happen by chance. Let's talk to another winner real quick. I'm going to bring in Sanjin Delilik from the second split race as he won a fantastic race in the second split. Sanjin, do you have a copy?
No, mate, how you going?
Oh, fantastic. Sanjin, Jim Davey was able to come in today. Without him on the track, he was able to come into the show and tell us about what was happening there in the second split race. Congratulations on a dominating performance, it sounds like. Just a great job for you at Sonoma, and congrats on the win. Tell us about it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, that was a pretty good race. Long, to say the least, but yeah, no, I had good fun.
Man, it had to have been big time over there. Over here in the first split, it was Jared Philsell kind of walked away with it. Tell us a little bit about what happened with the pit strategies in the second split. Here, everybody went to the pits early to try to put some fuel in that back end to help the back end because we got some loose race cars.
Yeah, I was going up early as well, but then I saw that if I pit early, I was going to just come out in traffic, so I just hung out there. I think I pitted about lap, or might have been 20 or so. And then, yeah, took on tyres as well, so when I come out, it was all good and in the clear again, so yeah, I was able to have a good run.
Boy, that always makes it nice when you have a clear field ahead of you. And congratulations again, Sanjin. Always a pleasure talking to you, buddy.
No, thanks, man. I got to stay away from them GT3 cars and hopefully come back into that.
That's right. We miss seeing you each week, buddy, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, guys.
And that's Sanjin Delilik, everybody. Driver of the Altitude Volvo, winning the second split today and a phenomenal performance. Let's bring in the other podium driver here in the top split of the V8 Americas series. That is Sean Kelly. Sean, do you have a copy with us?
Sure do. How are you guys?
Oh, we are doing fantastic. Sean, what a great performance today. We got to see a little bit of it all. We saw some great passing, getting around Boca Tel there at the end. He did kind of pull over to help let you by. but he knew it was inevitable. You were going to get around him. He had a pretty loose race car there at the end, and you were extremely fast today, and the hybrid racing machine looked really good. Tell us a little bit about your experience at Sonoma.
Yeah, cheers. It's a pretty hard track, and 41 laps around here is, yeah, quite a pretty tough ask, but I knew coming into the week I wasn't really going to have the pace for Jared or Mullen, so I just opted for a different setup, and not exactly sure how it went, but yeah, my tyres were just as melted as Bo's when I came across him, and I could see it was all over the place, and all I was trying to do was make it look like my car was more stable than his, but it wasn't really. So yeah, so he let me past, and yeah, and then otherwise my tyres would have been totally toast. But yeah, really happy to come by the podium actually tonight.
Yeah, Sean, that's a killer result, and to get a podium over Bo Cattell is a pretty big win if you ask me, and great result all in all for Sonoma for you. It's going to help in the point standings again. This is 2 great weeks in a row, Sean.
Yeah, speaking of points, this is just week 2, but that does, getting that podium position does move you into that #1 spot. You got 411 points. That's 1 point more than second place Marlon McMullen, who ends today with 410 points.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, it's good to get that track out of the way. I hope we can go to some of the faster tracks, and yeah, hope we can go 1 or 2 better next time around.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sean, we're heading to Road Atlanta next week, and a lot of people know Road Atlanta with it being my home track. I love that place, one of my favorites. It's not exactly a fast track, but it is a fun track. Hopefully you like that one as well, and we hope to see a similar result next week, Sean.
Yeah, cheers. No, I love Road America, Atlanta, sorry, and yeah, it's an awesome track to race on, and always creates good racing. So yeah, definitely one I'm looking forward to next week for sure.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, thanks for coming by and having a word with us. We always appreciate it, and best of luck to you next week, Sean.
All right, thanks, guys.
Absolutely. That's Sean Kelly, everybody, driver of the hybrid racing Ford Falcon, and a great job by him today getting out that final podium position. Now it's time to get in here one of the Kamikaze race boys. Let's get in Michael Fulcher for a word if we can. Michael, are you there with us?
Yeah, g'day, boys.
Hey, howdy do, as they say somewhere in America, not where I live. But hey, a great race today. I like the way that the Kamikaze race team finished today. I know we probably would have liked somebody to get a win, but I liked you guys finishing all together there, 6, 7, and 8. It shows a good consistency within the team, and I really like that. Mark, you led the way. New member Sam Collins finishes in 7th, and then, or I'm sorry, did I have it backwards? I apologize. But anyways, you were all 6, 7, and 8th right there, and a great day, if you ask me, for you guys.
Yeah, as soon as it crossed the line out to the boys, which I'm sure they already knew, like that was really good. And our new guy Sam, couldn't be happier. That was a great race by him. And yeah, it's pretty hard to get any.
I needed, and while I was looking at my fuel, I ran off track and hit the wall. So yeah, and then to top it off on about lap 34, my wheel fell off the table. So it was kind of it was one to forget for sure. We'll move on. We'll put this one behind us, and lucky to escape with the top 10, really.
That's what I was fixing to say, bud. For all that, for you to walk out of here with a 9th place finish, I would be smiling. I remember,
Yeah,
I remember last season. I think you had a rough time here as well. So you had I think when the race started, you got caught up in a bystander in an accident,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
yeah, if I recall that right. And so this just hasn't been the best luck track for you. So we'll be heading to Road Atlanta, and I know you're a little bit better there. So be happy to see what you can do next week, Nige.
Well, fingers crossed that it'll work out a bit better. Hopefully, we get a bit more track time in. Things have been a bit hectic with the team the last couple of weeks, so it's great having the support we've got now with the Sim Pit and V8 Supercars New Zealand. So, but it's just taken up a lot of time the last couple of weeks, and hopefully it'll settle down a bit now, and we can concentrate on driving.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Always a pleasure talking to you, Nigel, and best of luck to you guys next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And that is Nigel Baines, everybody, driver of the number 36 You know it, our good team right there, SDC Motorsports. And tell you what, I got a question to ask to another SDC driver, Chad Chastain. Chad, do you have a copy?
I do, JD. How you doing?
Doing a fantastic job. I mean, a fantastic, buddy. You did a great job today, is what I meant to say. We got to see you jump out to an early lead today. And boy, Jared Filsell was just on a tear today. He had extreme speed from somewhere and really, really dominated the race. But you did a great job. You fell back there and still got out of here with a 5th place finish. How do you do it?
I don't know. I felt good. My short pace speed's really strong, but I didn't have the right setup there. And after about 10 laps, I just tried to not wreck anybody out, and I was in survival mode. I like I said, I had good short run pace, but man, Jared, he was in another world. And then once my tires went away, I really just tried to not wreck anybody, stay out of the way, and get out with a better finish than I did last week at Watkins Glen.
Heard that, buddy. Well, all in all, 5th place finish, a great day, Chad. And the first 2 races of the season are over. So now we focus on week 3, and we got a week of practice ahead as we head to Road Atlanta. I know that I've seen you do good at Road Atlanta, buddy. And so I can't wait to see what's in store for you next week.
Me neither. I'll put in the time, and hopefully we can get the simpit.com SDC Motorsports Falcon up on the podium, maybe even on the top step. Who knows?
Sounds good to me, my friend. Sounds good to me. Thank you so much for coming and having a word with us, buddy. It's always a pleasure talking with you, Chad. And you do look good out there in that Sim Pit Falcon. I will have to say that.
It's looking good. Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely, buddy. That is Chad Chastain, everybody, driver of the Sim Pit Ford Falcon there of SDC Motorsports. And now, Kane, it's time to let's bring in somebody else. Who are we going to bring? I got to bring in my good friend right here. Hold on. How about Bones? Let's get Graham Filand in here. Bones, do you have a copy?
How you going, JD, Kane, Jim?
Doing good, doing good. We're all hanging in here. And I tell you what, we got to see some fun racing out of you today. And a Luke Emerton, too, I believe. Y'all two had it going on for a while there. And the Altitude Volvo looked good, Graham. It looked real good.
Yeah, she felt really good in race trim. It just, like Luke got me at the start there, and I just had the pace on him. And so I decided to pit early and got the jump on him. And then, yeah, got away a little bit and had a nice little drive between Bainesy and who was it? Michael Fulcher, yeah. So I was sitting between them for a little while.
That's right, buddy. And you got to feel good. Your teammate there, Sanjay Delilah, gets the win in the second split. So a good day for the Altitude boys to get a top 10 in first split and a victory in second split. Not too shabby.
Yeah, we've dragged Sanjay out of that and we're going to get him back in the V8 so he can get his I rating back up. He's just losing too much in those European servers.
Yeah. Sounds great, buddy. Well, best of luck to you boys next week as we head to Road Atlanta, my home track. I always get excited, something a little extra special when we head there. I love getting there. So best of luck to you boys next week.
Yeah, no, that'll be more fun. I didn't even get to have one drink out of me stubby this week. There's no time for it at this track.
Take care. That's Bones.
All right.
Everybody, a good friend of ours there in the Altitude Volvo gets a top 10 result here at Sonoma this week. Great job, and happy to have him. And now let's get in here. Samuel Ryman in here. Let's see, or let me see if I can try to get him in here. Sam, do you have a copy, buddy?
Yes, I do. Do you hear me?
Absolutely, buddy. Happy to have you here on the broadcast after a killer race there at Sonoma. And boy, we had all kind of stuff going out there. It wasn't just fun at the front of the field. There was some at the mid of the field too. You had several different battles going on. A 14th place finish, not too bad here in this top split.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of those battles were letting the leaders by. I actually ended up finishing 2 laps down there, but it was a race of survival for me because this is my first ever race at Sonoma, only my second ever race in a V8 Supercar, so I kind of knew coming into it that I wasn't going to do too well. So, you know, just the fact that I made it to the finishing line, I logged some laps, learned a couple of things, and also got to talk to a couple of drivers, get to know who I'm racing against. I'd say it was a good day.
I would say the same as well. This is only your second race in the V8 Supercar, and you're finishing 14th in the top split, buddy. That's something to say. You should be very proud of yourself. This is, in most people's opinion, and myself included, the most difficult car on the entire iRacing simulator. And boy, this is quite an accomplishment for you. Tough track too.
Yeah, no. I've just came back.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We appreciate you on the show, buddy. Best of luck at Road to the V8s.
Yeah, thank you. Great to be.
Sam.